for the plot, but we all know it is probably not. Little chat with another slice of life. Biggles keeps talking about another villainess. And in troubleに越されているので、私たちはそれら忘れて分析します。It's the Biggles breakdown, another anime night, fighting all the shows and the plots. It's time for the Biggles breakdown. Breakdown.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Biggles Breakdown. I see Jeremy Turner is already here. Hello. I am joined by the knight of the channel, Crimson Wa. He is our Subaru Nazi, even though he's not in.
Hold on. What did you just say? I am your Subaru. What?
Nazi.
I feel
Nazi?
like you need to enunciate
There's
that way
a
better.
K in there. There's
That's
a
okay.
K that belongs in there.
Because you made it sound like he's the kind of guy who chilled in Europe, specifically Germany, around.
I mean, I can
the
start singing about a
1930s and
flower if
40s.
you guys want me to.
Whatever makes you happy, and I'll try better next time to speak English properly, even though it's a Japanese name.
It's very rare for people to understand that joke.
All right. And
You can also do it the Japanese Natsuki Subaru, right?
Yeah. Now, we also have little Chad who gets every joke, where I get like 1% of the jokes, and I just...
Hey, Biggles, what was that character in Apothecary Diaries?
Shushwi? Shushwi?
She's the third sister.
And as if he didn't get banged over the head with more information about who she actually is this time around, right?
Yeah, exactly. A Polish aficionado.
Yes. Subaru Nazi, my favorite Austrian painter.
All right. Okay, so it is Memorial Day. So on Memorial Day, you're supposed to remember the fallen heroes, and we talk about anime, so we might as well talk about fallen anime characters that died after being on the battlefield or on the battlefield. And actually, I have yours that, or at least I think it's the correct character. I have yours on here to go first, little Chad from Robotech. I think this is
this is another one where pronunciation matters.
Roy Fucker.
Falker.
Oh, yes. Roy
You got a problem, Falker?
You got a problem, Falker. Man, leader of Skull Squadron, pioneer in bringing interracial romance to the world of anime. This dude.
Did he fuck a tentacle monster?
No, he was with the black girl who was part of the command crew. Remember? And that was
okay.
It was
So
just,
this isn't a Tsutomu Nihei thing. Okay.
No. And he was and his death, at the saving saving people is what inspired our eventual hero character. In I guess this is where it gets interesting. For most Americans, they would know it as Robotech, where it was the first show of the 3-show mashup that became the Robotech series in the United States. There was in Japan, it was Macross. This is the first Macross show, which eventually became, I believe, they condensed the first Macross show into a fairly well-received and well-known movie version, which was like, I think, Macross Do You Believe in Love, which was whatever. I think that was the name of the movie. Crimson, am I right? Was that the net?
I don't know. I've never seen Macross.
You've never seen Macross?
Nope.
Super Dimensional Fortress. Macross doesn't.
I'm lacking on a lot of anime that came out like before 2000.
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah,
I'm very well aware that there's a lot of stuff in there that I need to watch, but literally the oldest stuff that I have watched is Cowboy Bebop and Berserk 1997.
It was Do You Remember Love is what that was. Do You Remember Love? Anyway, So, but the
But
three
Crossbone
shows,
is love, baby, don't hurt me.
yeah. So, the so, but it's but obviously, Robotech was one of the first, along with Voltron, were kind of the true pioneers in bringing mainstream success for anime shows to America. I mean, you could argue that like a lot of cartoons were animated by Japanese studios like Transformers and Thundercats and some of these other things. But the ones where it was the actual anime aesthetic, they would bring things like, the Transor Z, which was Mazinger Z, got converted. But Robotech was huge. It sold a lot of toys. The design of the Veritech fighters was iconic to the point that there were lawsuits about Transformers ripped it off to basically import the original Jetfire toy. Skyfire Jetfire toy was just a repurposed Macross Valkyrie, VF1 Valkyrie toy that they brought over and made into a Transformer, except because they didn't have to do anything to convert it, because in Macross, the jet converts from the jet to a battle robot already. So, but then the Robotech people sued the Transformers people. Was like, no, we have the rights to everything in North America. You can't do it. So they had to redesign the entire toy, change his name, all sorts of stuff. But this character was, I think, he had a couple things going for him. One is that he flew probably the most iconic design within the Robotech Macross, which was he had the Skull and Bones squadron. Like, so he had the Skull and Bones logo with the yellow and black color scheme on his Veritech fighter, which is just pretty awesome. It's just a cool look, and so that helps. And then, when you're the guy who goes full hero, sacrifices yourself to save people, and then for the rest of the show, the new guy who steps up, who's the lead of the show, is always trying to honor your legacy in everything that he does. So I think he's kind of like one of the prototype, I guess, guys we have to honor as a fallen hero within the anime community.
Now, I've never seen this show, so I'm going to have to check it out. But I think I looked at it and it had like 86 episodes in a movie, and I was like, holy fuck.
Were you looking at Robotech or were you looking at Macross?
It was Robotech.
So so when you look at Robotech, understand that 86 episodes represents 3 different Japanese animes cobbled together.
Okay.
The first third of that is Macross. The second is, I believe, Neon Genesis Mospita. I get the names are getting get a little, not Neon Genesis. It's Super Dimension Cavalry Southern Cross, and what was the other one? Mospita was basically the people in America wanted different toys. So
Mhm.
they looked at animes where they had transforming vehicles. And one show, and with Macross, it was a jet fighter.
Mhm.
With Mospita, it was a motorcycle that converted. And so they were just trying, like these are good toys we can convert. This is perfect. So it's a good stuff. But I'm gonna tell you, man, you don't have to worry. If you look up the Macross version, it's going to be a lot less episodes. There's going to be several Macross series
Mhm.
where the original one was Super Dimensional Fortress Macross. That's where SDF comes in when they talk about the really big like aircraft carrier city
Okay.
thing, is the SD stuff. Yeah, and so, and then they did revival continuation shows in the 90s and the 2000s, sometimes just as movies, sometimes as limited series. So there's not actually a lot of episodes to watch if you want to do Macross. I think the original anime is, I'm trying to look at how many episodes the original Macross actually was. And honestly, if you wanted to, like I said, you you could just watch the Do You Remember Love movie, and that's the entire first, series of Macross condensed into just one movie. It's kind of like what they did with Gundam, where they
Mhm.
were able to, because there's a lot of filler type stuff, so you can condense it down to the pretty essential things within a movie length.
So since you brought up Neon Genesis Evangelion accidentally, does Asuka actually die?
Is that our debate? Did you want to start an internet debate on that one?
Well, no.
There is yet another one that I got to go back and watch that I've been encouraged to check out.
So in the movie End of Evangelion, it has like a different ending than the manga, and she gets completely wrecked. But then you see at the end she comes back. So is that like a Subaru thing where she just comes back?
No, it's because I would say the manga would be the official like canon. And
Well, that the manga has a different ending than everything. Every single Evangelion comes out with a different ending.
well,
Can they just not figure out how to stick the landing?
Well,
yeah, I think people were. It's So I'll give you an example. Like everybody here has probably seen Spider-Man: No Way Home, the movie that came out just 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, with Tobey Maguire and
where they brought back Tobey
guys,
Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
The nostalgia bait movie that basically leaves Spider-Man alone and forgotten.
So
that sucked dick for 45 minutes and then failed the ending for the last 10.
So this is going to be specifically about the ending because they reshot that one because they did the Neon Genesis thing, as you saw in the movie, right? Tobey Maguire jumps in front of the Goblin glider and takes the hit, right? And he was supposed to die. Like that was a full on getting stabbed like straight up. Like the original ending was him dying, but when they did test screenings, it was so poorly received. That's when they went back and just added the part where he's like, I've been stabbed a few times, I'm fine. And that's kind of what I was like, yeah, I'm actually here. I am. I'm okay. I'm good. It's like,
so then she wouldn't be part of our Remember Fallen Soldiers, even though she did die for a little bit in that movie. And then at the end, she was back. Neon Genesis Evangelion is such a mind fuck that I don't understand like any of the shit that goes on. That I've watched it like 4 times and I still don't know what goes on. And I have to ask Lethal to translate.
Well, here's the issue with that is you could get slapped in the face with context and still not know what's going on. Proof: the Apothecary Diaries.
Yeah, well, no one's died yet in that. That's important. Okay. From battle. Okay, right. So speaking of someone who died in battle, I'm going to need you to say this name.
Gazef Stronov.
Yes. He's like he's one of the loyal he's one of the main guys that trains people in the kingdom, right? And he was like the captain.
Did Overlord had a run where they just really got you to love these characters, and then they would just have reasons that Ainz would end up killing them, and it was messed up.
Dude, I fucking hated when he died, man. He was like the coolest character in all of.
Well, they warmed you up with the adventuring party that he nuked in his, when they went to Knockery or whatever.
I didn't care about them though.
They were good people.
I only cared about the chick who had siblings that she was trying to rescue.
That's actually a boy.
Oh.
Yeah. I just found that out yesterday.
Interesting. But yeah, no, this was genuinely one of like the moments from Overlord that I did really like, but it was kind of like one of those things where like, man, I really liked that character. Like he was cool.
Oh, wait, maybe it was a girl pretending to be a boy and I had it backwards. It's one of the two.
Either way, this was one where like hating on Overlord.
No,
Not really.
We're remembering the fallen awesomeness.
Yeah. We're
this
saying that
man.
they get you to feel like these characters are beloved, man. You know, like Gazov was like, I was trying to figure out as I'm watching it, I was like, there has to be a way he's gonna not kill him. He's gonna just fake it and then put it, like do something to. Nope, he killed him.
I was totally hoping he wouldn't kill him because he was the coolest character in the show.
I was at the point where I expected that he was going to die. And I guess that's kind of why it wasn't as bad as some of the other moments that I put on the list. But with this one, it was like, this was probably my favorite character in Overlord.
Mine too.
Like,
See,
I thought he was a really cool character.
Yeah.
And then like up to that battle, I was like, all right, they've been doing well with him. And then they killed him off, which, given the nature of the story and all that, I don't think it's necessarily a bad decision. And yeah, great character, great death. It's just one of those things where like, ouch.
So yeah, I mean, even I would be happier even if I got like, with Cocytus in the Master Swordsman where he just froze him. And he was like, eventually we'll figure out we can do something with him. I'm pretty like he's effectively dead, but let me have a little hope that sometime, somewhere down the road, we might have something where we break him out.
Yeah.
No, Irons nuked him. He's dead.
not just a nuke, just an insta nuke. So yeah, as far as the first, I think he went through to season 2, right? Like that's when that battle happened and he died in season 2.
Yep, he went through to season 2, and then his death still had ripple effects throughout. I think season 3 and on, where because he was so respected and so loved, like and that's a testament to the character that when you had other people coming onto the show and who were very much impacted by his death, you didn't question it. It didn't seem like, oh, well, they're just milking that. It was like, no, this guy was awesome. He would have inspired that kind of love. It makes sense that these people are trying to live up to his legacy and feeling like they're insufficient to do and be who he was.
Yeah. So like he was pretty much like one of the highlights for the first 2 seasons for me. And one of the reasons I really did enjoy that part of the series. There are other reasons, like I've said, I don't hate Overlord. There are other reasons I do enjoy it. But it was kind of like a sad to see him go. Wish they would have had him around for a lot longer because his character overall was great.
True.
I just feel like the weakest link in Overlord is Ainz.
Well, Ainz has to stop letting
Demiurge
like tell him exactly what to do.
Demiurge and Albedo, where they're Demiurge is like, oh my god, I see it. I see the grand plan, Master. Will Demiurge please enlighten everyone else who is not as smart as us about what the grand plan you've realized is? It's kind of it's a running gag. I get it. I appreciate it, but it is weird when the weakest link in the show in terms of the writing, the characterization, and some of those things is Ainz, who is your lead character. Like the most interesting stuff happening in Overlord tends to be the other stuff going on that isn't Ainz.
I think I do kind of agree with that. I'm generally less fixated on Ainz than I am a lot of like the other things that are going on. I find it far more intriguing the kind of manipulations that everyone else gets up to in the background, as opposed to what Ainz himself is up to. Because really, Ainz only like gets like seriously Ainz only gets like seriously like, how do I say this?
Fighting when he has to?
No, like his best moments are effectively when he's dealing with stuff that's somewhat similar to games. Like when he starts fighting Shaltir or dealing with other players and stuff like that. That's effectively like his good moments where his like actual skills sort of shine through. When it comes to ruling a nation and the politics of it, it really feels like he's riding on the coattails of just about everyone else around him, which irks me a little bit about the character. But I mean, so be it.
Ainz's greatest scene is getting wrecked by Aqua in in Isekai Quartet.
By a basic ass turn undead spell.
That's a basic spell. That's Ainz's best thing. Now we're going to get into Attack on Titan. Now for Attack on Titan, we could have put the everyone, but instead I picked Levi Squad, Sasha, and Ervin. That's how you say his name. So I like how it says Potato Girl. Like it's just like, right. So Sasha, fucking dumbest death in the entire show, and the death of all hope of that show being happy.
See, yeah, this one was one where like you genuinely like her death was effectively like Aaron realizing there is no escaping this path. There is nothing we can do to change it now.
Everybody must die. But the fact that Gene and Connie were just like, we can't kill this little girl after she just fucking killed Sasha, I was like, you fucking retards, I hate you.
And everyone hates Gabby for that, but like the child was like brainwashed, like a literal brainwashed child soldier is what you're doing.
Yeah, that's fine. She was a brainwashed child soldier. They still should have fucking killed her. But they're like, oh no, we can't kill her. Brr. Fucking stupid. Fucking that's the scene that made me hate.
Biggles, would you shoot a child?
Yes.
I can't argue with that.
I'd fucking kick the shit out of him and then shoot him. Yeah. Yeah, especially if they killed Sasha. Yeah. 100%.
Now, I feel like as far as Sasha's death goes, I never really cared as much for Sasha as a character as everyone else did.
That's because you're heartless. I hate you.
What do you mean I'm heartless? I'm not the one who would shoot children.
Yeah, who cares? They're children.
But insofar as like the insofar as like the turning point for that like whole part of the series, insofar as like what she did for the story and all that, but when she died, I really liked it. You basically see Aaron kind of just snap and kind of go mental and fully commit to the role of
the rumbling
world genocide. Yes,
I approve. Aaron did nothing wrong. You know what? They killed Sasha. I'm with Aaron to fucking wipe their whole fucking world out. Let's go.
I mean,
I feel everyone in Attack on Titan is awful. Like genuinely, everyone is.
Without
we all don't. How do I put this? We all kind of don't think it ended very well, right? Clearly, and that's I think one of the problems where this.
I understand the ending. I just don't really like it that
way. If the show had a better ending, you would look back with some of these choices about who died, when, where, why, with a little more, like basically ability to be like, I get it. Like that. When we get to My Hero, I think that's kind of how we're gonna. The way an anime ends can retroactively make you really pissed off that they killed people because you're upset about the way like Oshinoko is going to be because of its ending when it finally shows up in the anime. People are going to end up looking back and stuff that they were like, oh, okay.
I don't even know if I want to continue watching that anime after the ending.
Hey man, that happens, man. I wanted to put someone from Kaiju number 8 on here, but they haven't died yet in the anime. So I don't want to spoil anything for people that are.
Yeah, as far as this goes, like Attack on Titan could have been a more satisfying ending. Like there are certain elements to it that are just like, why did you go this route? So I can understand like how it got to that point. I just have to question like why it had to be so nihilistic in some senses.
I do usually like the happy ending. If you're gonna put people through that much shit, give them something, and that's as an example, it's not just animes that do this. If you look at something like Hunger Games, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't the biggest fan. My wife really liked the books, was really excited for the movies. Until, but the books were coming out as the movies were getting made. And she reads the last book and it gets to that really awful ending. And it just completely killed her. She all of a sudden she never wants to watch like she really loved the first movie and loved the first book. Nope, never cares to watch. The ending can retroactively just destroy your love of everything that came before, no matter how well done it was.
Which one is
And
this that you're talking about?
Hunger Games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where they did the bullshit ending, where they like bombed their own people, and she ends up like, if you read the book, and because this was relayed to me by my wife, the ending is she gets with PETA, because there was the love triangle the whole series, but in her internal monologue, she's basically in her own mind acknowledges, I don't really love him, but he was so broken after what happened, I felt guilty, so I'm just with him. And it's like, well, that's super uplifting.
That's fucking awful.
Yeah.
No, with Attack on Titan, literally all they had to do was just not show like the final scenes of Eldia going full Fourth Reich and the final results of everything that happens, and you probably would have had people much more satisfied with that ending.
So you're saying it went Game of Thrones finale, where people could have been okay with it till they just went full Mad Queen and had her nuke the city.
Yeah. Basically, they took it one step too far. And if they would have just trimmed a little bit off the end and never shown that part, you wouldn't have nearly as many people raging about it. And you'd have a whole lot more people who love it. Now, I do think the ending of Attack on Titan, like the hate for it has died down as time has gone on. I think a lot more people have accepted that, and then a lot of it was just like outrage as to like how it ended in the moment. But I mean, I still think there was places in that could have been improved. But I think we've kind of gone off the trail of the topic
Don't
of the
worry,
night.
we got plenty of remembering soldiers from Attack on Titan on here. Now, I was thinking of doing a video of just showing all the dead people from Attack on Titan, but then I realized I was going to have to do like entire cast, like everyone.
Yes. And now this is personally like one of my well, I shouldn't say one of. It is my favorite character. I have a statue of this guy over here on my shelf. Commander Ervin.
You have a statue of him?
Yes, this was literally the first like true like high quality anime figure I have ever bought, and it is the scene from season 2 where he is shouting at the Scots, "Advance! Advance! God damn you!" One greatest character in Attack on Titan.
Best scene too, basically.
But like his death is another one that really does kind of define the course of the whole show. Like once like season 3 hits or season 3 ends and he's gone, like this is another one where like the repercussions last for the rest of the season, where Armin is just constantly weighed down by the idea of, can I live up to everything that he was? Can I do what he did? Was sacrificing him for my life really the right call?
It's this whole thing reminds me of Saving Private Ryan, right? The end, where like Tom Hanks' last words after the entire team that went to save the one guy gets wiped out, right? That entire group. And Tom Hanks' dying words, he pulls the Matt Damon's character, Private Ryan, right in and was like, you got earn this, right? You better have the best life. You better matter. You better do something worthwhile, because like 6 people are dead because of you. Specifically, not a like maybe they died. No, they died specifically because of you. So you better earn this. Like, so you've got like with what happened with, or when like when you've got Armin here, you figure like Crimson is saying like everything in his head is just like, oh my god, I've earned this, right? Earn the sacrifice.
And you can make the argument that Irvin was effectively the smarter Aaron Yeager because they both decided that they were going to be monsters for the sake of people around them. That was really what drove them to do what they did. For Ervin, it was a little bit more cold. He wanted to know the truth and everything that was going on with the world. He basically wanted to avenge his father's legacy. But they kind of took on a similar role. And it would have been really entertaining to see how this whole series would have played out if they had chosen to save Ervin instead of Armin.
For this Marcel comment, I agree. Okay, back to Attack on Titan. Sorry. Little chat, you were talking, I interrupted.
Oh, no, I was saying it was that's anytime you get the sacrifice for where there's a specific where there's a choice, right? We have one thing available, we can save A or B. Right, A or B. Whoever gets saved out of that decision making in whatever media you're watching is forever going to be tied to what they did and is it living up to the sacrifice. And then when you make it a character that is beloved, that was that people really liked, the worst the worst thing you can do as a mangaka or a writer or whatever is piss on that sacrifice, right? Because the audience doesn't like when you do that. Right, you don't want someone to be to do that, or they have to be punished for not living up to expectations.
Really, people don't like it when you kill a character and then make it basically a joke. Never would have guessed.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we haven't seen it before and again and again and again. People got to realize that. But I still feel like Titan ended badly, and I'm not one of the. I invested time. Attack on Titan was a long-term time investment. It took a long time to finish, and when you get that really bad ending, you're like, blah. What did I do? I feel like I wasted a lot of time, and I enjoyed a lot of Attack on Titan, but I feel like I wasted time because the ending was so shit to me.
At least he has the most important character in the video game, because once you get his power after maxing him max level, he makes your character the best possible character. So he gets that as a bonus. He's still alive in the video game because you can save him. Okay, so, but yes, we remember Arvin, the best character for the Scouts, him and Levi. But speaking of Levi, we got Levi Squad, a squad that died too soon. They were bragged about how awesome they were, and then they all got fucking wiped out in like a couple episodes after being introduced.
If you get braggadocious, you're gonna die in the anime. That's what happens. You're gonna get like wrecked.
Yeah.
Look at this. We even got the stats: 39 solo kills, 9 kills on a team. Then we have Petra, who was one of my favorites besides Sasha. 10 solo kills, 48 assists, taking down all those Titans. Poor Petra. We got Eld, 14 solo kills. Look at that. And then we got Gunther, who has a total of 47 kills. He has a kill record of 47. Look at that. Until Levi kills
7 solo, yeah.
Until what's his name kills Levi kills like that many in one go when taking down the Beast Titan. Let's see.
There's another moment where like literally one choice would have like changed the entire course of events. Like, imagine if Levi had just straight up killed Zeke in that moment.
Yes, he should have. He should have killed that fucker. Poor Levi failed and let everybody die. Okay, so this
it's all Levi's fault.
It's all Levi's fault. He should have killed Aaron when he had the chance. Okay, no. So this is yours, Crimson. This main one's yours. So go for it.
Okay. So I'm gonna spin you a little tale here. When I first started watching anime, it was Dragon Ball Z, and the second one I watched after that was Naruto, and that was the one that really, really, really got me to like anime. Love it or hate it or whatever, Naruto was effectively what got me into anime. So when I got to the Pain arc, and Jiraiya had effectively been the stand-in father figure that the main character had needed all his life. And had, in spite of being a bit of a problem child himself, Jiraiya was a really good teacher and the kind of mentor Naruto needed. Someone who was actually willing to teach him and be patient with him. And then we get to the Pain arc, and he sacrifices his life to get vital information that would end up helping people put an end to pain in the later part of that. Jiraiya's death was one of the biggest, saddest moments in Naruto, and that was one that just hit me hard. This was a character that I loved, who I had a connection to because everything that he had done for the story and for the main character Naruto. And the way he went out was heroic, tragic, epic. It's still to this day one of my I don't want to say favorite character deaths, but it's definitely the one that I think is up there with being real the best done of them all.
Yeah, so I've never seen Naruto, but the way you described this death makes me want to watch it. Who knows?
Naruto does have its issues. I will say that. Largely, the story is pretty good. I won't say it's the best story out there, even though this is my favorite anime. But biases. This is the one that really made me love anime, so it will always be my number one. Jiraiya's character, though, over the course of the first over Naruto and then the first half of Shippuden up to the Pain arc, fantastic.
There you go. The real one is not among them. Is that a Naruto thing?
It's a reference to Pain, yes.
Okay. Now, here's one that I think all of us can talk about. Nanami.
Kento
Yeah.
Nanami, yes.
Dude, I've cosplayed as him, and that's okay, Phil. You've already admitted that I'm better at Kingdom Hearts than you, and that's your favorite game of all time. So suck it.
So, hey, Biggles, you see how right there it has that show spoiler button? If you click that, you can learn things.
Does it say he dies? There you go. Look. He died.
We're just casually making fun of Biggles now.
That's what we're talking about. We're remembering my favorite characters. So something that happens a lot in anime is my favorite characters tend to die. We saw it with Sasha. We saw it, we see it here. It's a thing. Animes love to kill my favorite fucking characters. And this was it. Now, the first time he died, putting it in quotes, because he survives it. Someone was like, you didn't text me saying that it upset you. And I was like, no, they've already pulled a fast one on me earlier. They said they pretended to kill someone else and then he was alive. So I was like, they're going to do the same thing with this. And then they did it once, and then they come back in and they fucking nuked him. And I was like, no. I was like, he's not coming back from that.
See, the thing is, I feel like as far as deaths in Jujutsu Kaisen goes, Nanami's is really the only one that I would consider the heroic kind of death. This dude took a hit from a special grade curse directly, survived, was severely injured, maimed to the point of not ever fully recovering, and still went to fucking fight some more curses.
And fuck them up too. And then he just got, and I'm like, no, fuck this show.
Yeah, if not for fucking Mahito.
Man, I hate that fucking character.
Yeah. He's I still think Nanami is the best character in the whole show. Like he had to me, he had the coolest powers. He was the most interesting character overall, and he's the only one that I ever really had any sort of um like connection to. And then of
I
course they did all the bullshit with Nobara and the manga, and I'm just like, I
Well,
kind of
I'm
saw it coming. Like it was telegraphed from a mile away. But like the one good thing that came out of if I would say one of the good things that came out of the Shibuya arc was how this one was handled. Especially with the themes of Jujutsu Kaisen and all of that. I feel like it abuses characters' deaths in a way that like kind of almost cheapens them. And Nanami's was really one of the only ones that I had cared about.
Mhm. Well, my second favorite character I thought was dead, but they brought him back at the very end, which is the thing you were just talking about. So, yeah, I don't even want to watch any more of it because I know the ending. I'm just like, there's nothing. It kind of feels like this entire anime, other than this death, is kind of like we need shock and awe, and
Yes.
we need it rather than writing a good story.
That was one of my big critiques when I did my review of Jujutsu Kaisen, particularly the Shibuya incident. I like it. It's fun, but like the story is shallow. There's really no meaning, and the characters don't really have any time for you to really be endeared to them before they're bumped off the screen. They're either not around enough or they get taken out of the series way early. It's a death fest, and it relies on that shock and awe, which is why I say Nanami's was one of the few that I actually cared about.
Best character in the show, and they fucking killed him. As it being Memorial Day, and we talk anime, we're remembering our fallen anime characters. All right.
they did, but there's a lot of. I mean, that's a problem that anime has with a lot where they have these characters that resonate and they're so awesome and they kill them off. But at least he went out like Crimson was saying. It was a good death. You don't
He
want it
had
to
a
be
noble ending,
yeah,
unlike a lot of other people in this series.
like you don't want it to end up being like a bullshit death, right? That's the worst part. Like when you see a guy who's beloved go out and they make it like just bullshit, and you're like, oh, and that's something. If you're gonna kill off one of your guys, make it epic, right? Do you have it in you to make it epic?
Yeah, another thing that like just to like talk about like why not wanting to watch the show. Another thing that this show struggles with is its whole message is just so odd. Because effectively it is written about like the whole message of it is like what it costs to be at the top. But it doesn't do it in any way that makes it like a worthwhile message to the reader or to the viewer. It's almost like never in there. It's basically just you have this dude who is ridiculously strong, killing everyone, and the whole point is to kill him, but you never really get any sort of meaning out of it whatsoever. It's a very dissatisfying series overall.
So I think you might be talking about Gojo here and not Itadori, because Itadori is one of the likable characters on this show. And then Gojo's just the one that all the girls gush over and some of the dudes.
I like Gojo. I think he's fun. I find him more interesting than Itadori. I probably would have watched the series more if Gojo had been the main character, actually.
Fair. All right, let's go to the next one. Midnight dies off screen.
Slut!
How dare they? Oh,
Oh.
we lost a little Chad.
Oh, my connection hiccuped. I'm back.
I'm back. Sweet. Okay. Midnight. She dies off screen. She's the only 18 plus hero. Do you read that? So known as 18 plus only hero.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Harry Potter, right? Where they do the Battle of Hogwarts, right? and you have all the people you become attached to over the course of 8 movies, 7 books, whichever poison he was. And instead of showing them going out heroically, you just have that little brief like camera pan where you have dead bodies. And you get like and in the book, I think you get the list of who died. And it was like, well, that's not in this. And I think in My Hero, you just get the announcement of the ones who died, fighting. I think she
You get like one or two
yeah.
panels in the manga of Mina and
Ochaku.
Momo
Oh.
crying over Midnight, which like I don't know why. I don't really remember them ever having some like
I think if
deep
you
connection.
well remember
They gave
in
him
the
the mask,
context
right?
in the context of the manga, Midnight had just given like the advice on how to take out Gigantamakia. So, and was working with Momo on that. And I think she was building them up like, I know class 1A and 1B can handle doing this. You guys can know you can do this. So, I mean, it happened. I'm guessing because it's off screen, right? That would mean that her death would have been right in proximity to Momo. So it should have maybe bothered her in that regard.
They were just working with her, but I think like My Hero does a lot of the bonding moments of the side characters off screen because they're not Deku and fucking Bakugo, so they don't give a shit, or Ochaku.
Well, I think the manga had the bonding of them in the fight. It had her being like a mentor leader in that moment, but I just wish we would have seen her go out like a boss, right?
Mm-hmm. It's one of those things where like, yeah, the character's death is tragic, but like to contrast it with the one we were just talking about with Nanami, you actually see him fight up until the end. With Midnight, it's an off-screen thing, so like you don't even get some sort of like good send-off for them.
Yeah, you just get her mask on the ground, and you're like, "What the fuck? She's dead. Fuck this." I was hoping she'd live.
And I think that's a problem that sometimes creators have, where they think it's actually more impactful to have something like, "Oh, we're gonna just pan down and you're gonna see her mask," and how like dramatic
it can
is that?
be depending on how it's done.
No, but here's in a superhero, My Hero Academia superhero world, with Midnight being a popular character. I mean, by the time she died, the manga had been going on a long time, and Midnight was a well beloved, side character. You don't do your popular characters dirty like that. You let them go out like a boss.
In this case, no, I do not think that it was a good way to like send her out. But I can see, in so far as like how things are written, how doing something like that could have a positive effect on the story. But with Midnight, it was one of those things where I think she deserved a better death scene than what she got.
Look, you can kill Best Jeanist off screen. You don't kill Lady Midnight.
Well, they don't even kill Best Jeanist.
I know. I'm using an example of someone you could have had like a pile of gene threads on the ground and have someone upset.
Dude, if they did that, Bakugo probably would have lost his shit and just fucking killed everyone, including the other heroes.
Can you give me a manga chapter where Bakugo did not lose his shit?
No, I mean like
I can give you manga chapters to where he's literally eating the word bubbles on the pages. He's so fucking pissed.
Yeah, but he would be even more pissed, Okay, so Midnight died off screen, sucked. Right? Now we're going to get one.
I think it was one of those things where like My Hero was trying to be like really kid friendly. So Horikoshi decided not to like kill her on screen because it would have been more brutal than what we got with Sir Night Eye. Like Night Eye died on screen, but he died in a hospital bed.
Man. Now we're going to go to one where who knows who's actually watched this one. Have you guys seen Claymore?
I've read it.
You've read it?
Okay. I've read it.
Oh yeah, we both have the box. We both have the box set. All right.
I actually have a photo just for like size comparison of that box next to my dog. It is big.
It is big. It's like I can't even show it on screen. That's how big it is. But Teresa of the Faint Smile. Now, for those of you that don't know, when you watch Claymore, the first 3 episodes are all about Claire, and then 4, 5, and 6 are about Teresa. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why did it switch characters? Well, it turns out that Teresa is the person that Claire got the blood from to make her into a Claymore. So instead of being half like everyone else, Claire is a 1/4. What is this? Basically, think of it as The Witcher, but with women.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
They're
it's
they're
fucking
half
awesome.
they're half monsters. She is a quarter monster, effectively.
Yeah.
Which is it's interesting, but yeah, with Teresa in the manga, you actually get to see like how she goes out. And that one kind of messed me up for a little bit because like her fight against Priscilla in that moment was interesting. I love the manga. Genuinely love the manga. It's great. And I've always wanted to get a figure of Teresa of the Faint Smile because I love her as a character for what she is in the manga. But I can never find one that doesn't also have the option to take all the clothes off. And the last thing I need is my parents questioning why that's on my shelf.
Just keep the clothes on the whole time. But for those of you that don't know, the clothes off is like, she's like, yeah, go ahead, just do it. Like,
So
it was
so
like
Crimson's going to get the
great scene.
intergalactic lord treatment. Who's like, we're just so excited you're into a real woman. We thought you were just happy with your dolls. So.
Fuck you.
They did talk about a live action, but Claymore could work as a live action. So
I don't want to see any anime live actions.
Can you name one? There's been none that have actually worked. None.
The only one that has been
Well, I guess
worth a
One
damn
Piece
was One Piece.
was well received.
But One Piece, even then, there's still some issues that I had with it, and it had Eiichiro Oda literally up their ass on everything.
And I don't think he's there for season 2 doing that. So season 2's I've got some bad feelings about what's going to happen with season 2.
Wait, you don't think Dragon Ball Evolution was the greatest movie ever made? How could
Apparently,
you?
it's not the worst movie ever made.
Thank you,
either.
Snow White. Woohoo!
I mean,
Okay.
Once Netflix started getting into more of the adaptations, they started burying Dragon Ball as bad like adaptation.
I have never seen the Cowboy Bebop live action, but my friend who has watched it
It's an
explained it to me
abomination.
after we did the fictionology on it, and it was yes, abomination is an understatement.
They did our boy so wrong in order to get Miss Valentine like the girl boss cred. It's crazy.
But yeah, I would never want to see a Claymore live action adaptation. I remember hearing about this because I like Claymore. I think it's a good series. I think it deserves a good anime, not a live action.
It will probably never get season 2. So get the manga, read the whole thing. So yeah, but Teresa, so sorry about being spoiled, but this is like episode 6 and you already know she's dead, but you just don't know who she is, but you know she's dead because they're not there anymore when the beginning of the show starts. So you already know she's dead. So just by watching. But Priscilla takes off her head, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Priscilla is like the number 2 Claymore at the time, right? 2 or 3?
She's number 2, so that's why they send her after Teresa.
All right. So they send her after
The
because
series has also been out for a very long time, so I don't care about the spoilers.
yeah, wasn't it like I feel like it was
2022 or no, wait. No, I'm thinking that's when it got loaded on a Crunchyroll. I don't know when the actual premiere date was.
2027?
2007.
2027. That hasn't even happened yet. Yeah, I said 2007 at first, and then I said 2027. What the fuck?
Yeah, in the manga, basically, Teresa has Priscilla cornered, and then Priscilla snaps and goes monster.
Well, doesn't Teresa
Or
also
sorry, Priscilla. Did I say Teresa? Priscilla snaps and goes monster, kills Teresa, and then takes off.
Yeah, and Teresa like stopped and like gave up, and then she snapped and killed her, right?
She did not kill Priscilla. Yeah, she chose to try and spare Priscilla because she didn't want to kill her.
Yeah, that's what happened. She like kicked her ass too, like,
Mhm.
and then
It
snaps.
wasn't even close.
Becomes like one of the strongest awakens ever, and like fucking chops off Teresa's head, and then you get a little thing of Claire holding Teresa's head, and you're like, oh god. Like,
Yeah, that was the moment that fucked me up. Is Claire holding Teresa's severed head?
You know, anime, you got to be ready sometimes. It'll go. It's a lot like Sword of the Demon Hunter. You every now and then there's just going to be a severed head just roaming around.
yeah.
A severed head used as a fucking football. Yeah,
You mean a soccer ball?
football, soccer ball, same shit.
No. All right.
Football.
Football. We're American, okay, Crimson. We're in the correct term. Soccer. Fuck the rest of the
We're the
world.
only fucking country who says soccer.
Yeah, because we're better. Okay. Now let's go to our next one. The Flame Hashira himself, Rengoku. Dude,
The single best character in all of Demon Slayer.
and only gets
Go ahead and click the show spoiler button, Biggles.
okay. Deceased. Dude, Rengoku, like
I wish it said, instead of status of deceased, I wish it said status donut club.
Oh, there's
man, he almost had him too.
Yeah, well, let's just put it this way. 'Cause I'm sure everyone has kept up with Demon Slayer enough to know about the marks. Rengoku almost killed one of the single most powerful demons without a mark. Hands down, the strongest of the Hashira. I don't care what you want to say about this fucking stone guy. He did not single-handedly almost take down one of the upper moons without a mark.
Well, I think when they say the stone is the strongest, it's because he has the mark, and Rengoku didn't. I think Rengoku ends up being the third strongest because he never got a mark and the other two did. Who's the fucking second? The crazy one.
Either way, this was one where like I was like, this was another good death. A character who went out fighting like right up to the end, and it hurt. But you're at the same time, you were like, they did that really, really well. It's not like he was done dirty or anything.
Fucking Tanjiro ruined everything. Tried to help Rengoku. Rengoku could have held him till the sun came up before he died, and Tanjiro let him escape. Fuck you, Tanjiro.
Look, in Demon Slayer, there's only going to be one person who's got plot armor. We know who it is. So, be ready for anybody go out. But like Crimson said, if you're going to kill the beloved characters, at least let them go out like a boss. That's how you got to do it. Make it a sacrifice. If you're going to kill that character, make it worthy of the character. Don't kill it off. Like, imagine if they killed him off screen. If it was like all of a sudden you just saw his clothes on the ground and it was like, oh, I guess he's dead now.
And the anime added an extra Rengoku thing, like an extra Rengoku episode. And then when you watch, like, that's anime only. That's not even in a manga. They added that episode, and then you go in and watch Mugen Train, and you're like, man, that's like, it's so much more impactful, so much more hurtful knowing that he's dead. And you're just like, man, Rengoku was the coolest dude ever. You just basically, he's like, delicious, delicious, or in English dub, tasty, tasty, right? And he's just like this big, powerful, goofy guy. And he comes in and fucking kicks ass. He's like, you do this, you do, like, takes complete charge when the demon is attacking. And then when the kids are there, he's like choking out the kid while he's under the spell, like about to kill the kid that tried to like
Biggles is salivating over the idea of killing a kid.
killing the kids.
Kill the child, corrupt them all.
Yeah, and then we have the upcoming movies. There's going to be some really good shit in the movies.
I'm familiar with the series because that's another box set I have, even though you can't really see it. It's
I have
buried
that
up
one
there.
too. I have
That was
that
one
one
of the
too.
first box sets I actually got, so I read through the whole series, like blitzed through it. I still think Rengoku's death is the best death in the whole series.
Yeah, because no one's as cool as Rengoku in that entire show except maybe Tengen. And he just like lost an arm and shit. So, and an eye or something, right? He lost an eye.
I believe so.
Yeah. So when the second coolest character in it, unless they, I don't remember the ending of Infinite Castle. So unless they kill fucking, what's his name, Inosuke, then I don't like. Then I give like no shits if someone else dies. You know, it was.
Well, then you're
Rengoku.
gonna give no shits if someone else dies.
Yeah, exactly. But Rengoku was so impactful, and he was only in the movie that like when he died, you're like, no, why Rengoku?
I know, like he was a badass character, like someone who like genuinely made you care about him in that like third of the movie that he's in. And like I understand why they needed to have some sort of like stakes to show you like just how dangerous like the upper moons are. But it was like one of the, so like I understand why they killed him off, but he was such a good character that they could have worked with, honestly.
Mm-hmm. It would have been so much cooler if he survived. Like if they would have killed someone like the Snake Hashira or the Mist Hashira here, like they sent them to fight and they died, maybe they could have made them enjoyable.
I don't think it would have had the same effect on the story though, because Rengoku
Has
is
the
literally
flames,
described as like the glue that held their whole group together. So his death literally motivated everyone to sort of get their acts together and start seriously like pursuing the task at hand.
Because he's the one who trained Mitsuri. So, because that's mentioned in what the Hashira training arc.
In a sense, Rengoku's death was almost necessary for the rest of the plot to happen. But I say almost because Tanjiro still would have found his way into trouble regardless.
Mm-hmm.
But it still sucks to see him gone because he was such a great character.
All right. So the next one, have you seen Grimguard Ashes, either of you?
I have not.
Okay. So this character is basically like from the anime Banished Healer Party, the one with the blue-haired martial arts girl, right? Where he was the healer, but he was also like their tank. So he was the only accomplished. So basically, it's an isekai, or at least I think it's an isekai. And they get formed into these two groups. The other group is way better. His group kind of sucks, right? And he's kind of the leader of the group. And he dies, obviously, because we're talking about him today. So he dies, and the main character of the group is constantly talking to like his ghost, or not really his ghost, but like his memories of him. And he dies to a goblin attack. So Goblin Slayer would disapprove, but he was like one of the coolest characters in this show.
Wouldn't Goblin Slayer be the first to tell you to never underestimate a goblin, though?
Yeah, but he failed Goblin Slayer by getting killed by a goblin ambush. You know who else died from a goblin ambush? Wizard.
I was about to say all the people in the was this from Goblin Slayer?
Rookie Adventurer. Yep. Okay. Oh shit, we jumped too ahead. All right. So
I was about to, Which one of the ones was the one that caused all the Goblin Slayer controversy by not just dying but also having other things happen?
No, she
It would
lives.
have been the
She
wizard.
lives.
Wizard.
No. The wizard dies of poison. She doesn't get raped. The monk does.
Um,
And she lives. She doesn't die. She lives.
Well, that seems like a bad
Yep.
scenario.
Yep. It's awful. All right.
Well, I guess
so-
the Pope of the Church also got
yeah
forcibly done things by the
sword maiden,
goblins. Yeah.
right? She can kill. Grimgar's the one with the red head who has a great ass, right? Possibly. I'll have
Wait,
to
was
go
Was
rewatch.
Grimgar the one where none of them remember getting isekai'd into the world?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I think I watched that.
Yeah. So we have Himmel on here. Now, Himmel doesn't die in battle, but because we're remembering a fallen warriors and heroes, we must remember Himmel, the hero, who's not the real hero. And like, because he doesn't grab the sword, it ends up causing more problems. But
Well-
luckily we have Stark.
I mean,
well, then
he
we can
is.
get into the meta text on that of him being the real hero or not. But he wasn't the chosen one. Would be a better way of saying that.
He
Yeah, I think
wasn't
that's
the
going to be
hero
Stark.
he wasn't the hero they asked for, but he was the hero they needed.
Yes. So
I will slightly disagree with putting him on like the Memorial Day list because he lived a long, healthy life and went
And
out
died.
in old age
Mhm.
peacefully. It's like, hey,
I know, but he was the hero, so I just wanted
But-
to put him on there.
but
Well,
he
And
didn't-
I
let's
also-
just put it this way: we have an entire like internet phenomenon of people saying, "What would Himmel do?" That is spawned out of him existing, to the point where someone stopped a knife attack in Taiwan and said it was what Himmel would have done.
There you go. Look at that. So Himmel is worth remembering. And then because we remember Himmel, we're also going to remember our drunken priest. How do you say his name again, Crimson?
Hyder.
Hyder. Yeah, there you go. So we will also remember him. Now,
so that's 2 in a row, by the way, who peacefully died in old age.
yes, but they were the heroes, so they get to be on here. Now, we're going to go to the saddest death in all of anime, and if anybody tells me otherwise, I disagree. The death of Maze Hughes. The only scene in anime that no matter how many times I
Hey,
watch
Biggles.
it, I'm crying.
Click show spoiler.
No. He's dead. Man, this was brutal. I was so happy when Mustang was like, yo, fuck you, Envy. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, but it
boom.
wouldn't have given us one of the greatest scenes in anime if Maze Hughes hadn't died. That is, I would argue, the Roy Mustang cooking and that was Lust actually.
Well, he cooks both of them.
Lust and Envy, yes.
Yeah.
But basically, those are. We wouldn't have gotten Roy Mustang doing a whole lot of stuff if not for the death of Maze Hughes.
Dude,
So
this broke me. This death broke me. Especially when they go to the funeral and his daughter is just crying like, don't, what are you doing? Daddy still has to go to work tomorrow. And I'm just like, oh no. And I can't, can we stop talking about this? I'm going to go on.
it's a terrible day for rain.
Oh,
that
man.
is one of the greatest quotes I've ever come across. It is a terrible day for rain.
Man, he was just like, he is the epitome of what a man should be, is Mace Hughes. And then he got fucking basically ambushed in the phone booth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Envy piece of shit. I'm so glad you got fucking roasted. But
I will say, I agree with you. Tragic death, very moving. I will say that for me, the most like emotionally moving death I've ever seen in anime was actually in Sword Art, where it was
I hated that show.
where it was the little girl, you know, the terminally ill little girl that they were putting into the full dive so that she could actually live outside of a hospital. That was kind of, you know, it's like, little kids dying, very emotionally destructive.
Have you ever seen Grave of the Fireflies?
I have not, and now you're making me think I don't want to.
This is from Full Metal Alchemist, also Brotherhood as well. So there's two of them: Full Metal Alchemist
Well,
Brotherhood.
they were
Full Metal
the same
Alchemist.
thing.
Look, Grave of the
effectively.
Fireflies is great, but it is another one. Like, Grave of the Fireflies is one of the few moments where I've actually felt like I wanted to cry after watching something.
Oh no, it's Ghibli. Okay. Yep. I'm looking it up. Ouch. No, I don't. That's gonna mess me up.
It is set in World War II Japan, like close to the end of the war.
Dun dun
I'll
dun.
leave you with that. If you know any history about what's going on, yeah, it's
So they're going to get nuked.
no.
Oh,
But honestly, their other option, their other way of going out ain't much better.
uh, okay. So now we're going to go to Kingdom. Have you guys watched Kingdom?
I have not watched Kingdom.
Okay, so the first two seasons, the animation is really bad, right?
I've heard. I have a friend who loves Kingdom.
Season 3, the animation gets so much better, but they literally changed like dub studios as well. And like every name that you're learning in the first first two seasons that you've learned, they're all said different. And they're all said different and all the characters sound different. So I just like switched to the sub, and the sub, and then it doesn't get a dub after 4, 5, and 6. So like just stick to the sub probably the whole time. It is about uniting China, ancient China, and it's a war story, and then it's also politics. Like when people say Attack on Titan is the best political show, I think the politics in this show are way better. But this character right here is General Biao. Now he shares like a drink with Shin going into the or before the war, and he is the most instinctual like general. He leads all his armies by instinct, and basically he gets like caught in a trap, and he goes out like a fucking boss. Shin's kind of hard to deal with a little bit early, but he gets so much better. Like you got to understand, he's like an 8-year-old going into the beginning of the first season.
Ah, yes, child soldier.
Well, no, he was a slave in the beginning. Like Kingdom's so good. Well, and once you get to 3 and beyond, the animation is way better. But there's a fight in like season 2 or whatever where it's just like it almost looks like it's really hard to explain, but it's just like repeating the same animation over and over again, and their arms are just going like this, like they hit swords. It's so good. It's so hard to deal with, like the animation early on. But the death of General Biao is one of the coolest scenes in the entire anime, and I think it is in like season 3. So it is in the better animation part. But where is my best girl love? What is that from?
Holy shit! While he's looking at that Crimson, apparently they
Oh,
released.
Himeno, Chainsaw Man.
Oh, I don't watch that. So
Crimson,
that's
did
why.
you know they did Grave of the Fireflies as a double feature with My Neighbor Totoro when it was released?
That is evil.
That is,
That is straight up evil.
Oh, I feel like that a lot of parents would be like, "What did you do to my child?"
Like I've not watched My Neighbor Totoro. That's another one I need to get like a copy of.
It's
for my
so
collection.
happy and bubbly and uplifting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is from what I understand, though, it's a very happy movie. Grave of the Fireflies is not. It is. It is pain, and yeah, Muffler Tape does not like you for
It doesn't.
not watching.
It doesn't interest me at all.
No,
okay.
but I do agree with him on the Jimeno front. Like that is another one that I.
So this guy is also from Kingdom. So the rest of them are going to be from Kingdom.
Why do they look like cross dressers?
So I thought this was a girl when I first was watching it, but it's actually a dude, and he's just like super flamboyant. And he goes, his laugh is like a bird crow. Like anytime you hear him laugh. But
So he's just flamboyantly gay. Got it.
maybe. I don't know if he's gay, but he's definitely flamboyant. But he is one of the 6 great generals of Kin when it first started. And he has one of the baddest deaths, like badass deaths, as not like bad. And he basically they're in the war, right? They're fighting. This whole war was a trap to kill him, right? And when you kill him, you take the general's head and you hold up their general's head, defeating the morale of everybody else. The other army quits, right? Because their general's killed. Well, he's fighting, right, to the very end. And Shin, the main character, I believe he jumps on his horse while he's fighting and gets him out of there. And he has like arrows in him. Maybe. But he's got like arrows in him, and he's just like chilling on the horse, still alive. And he's like giving Shin like this motivational speech kind of thing, and like telling him what it means to be like a great general, and like explaining all of this as he's like slowly dying from the arrow. But he's a really important character in the beginning, and he was like the best general they ever had. And then we have Wei Dao, who him and his brother, they're from Shin's village. Him and his brother join the army, the infantry, and they form a unit together. They're fighting. They do a bunch of battles together. He's part of like the 100-man group. And then there is an ambush, basically, and he sacrifices himself to save Shin, because Shin is the leader of their battalion and the main character. And he kind of goes out like a boss, saving himself, using himself as a distraction. And he had a wife or a girl he was going to marry that he never got to see. So there's that. And then we have the last person, the prince's younger brother. In the first season, he does like a rebellion because he believes he should be the king because he's the full blood former of the emperor. And by I think it's season 3 he dies, or season 4. Basically noble sacrifice. You see so much character growth in him going up like in this season where he dies, and it's kind of heartbreaking to see him die because they're like trying to carry him out, and he just like, no, I'll stay. And then he does some more fighting to stall for time and then dies, even though he's like the second prince. So there was that. Now that's all the ones that I had. What do you guys think?
I think I've been over all of mine.
Little Chad, do you have anybody else we should look up?
Anybody else? Let's think. Quality going out like a boss anime death. It's fairly recent and we've talked about it, but our boy, the invisible demon from Sword of the Demon, who went out trying to avenge his wife, even though that show completely twisted that whole thing to make it so epically tragic. He was, going out to doing what he can to set up his Jinja able to, go in and actually finish the job. That was good. I mean, we've had we've had some this season. That show alone has given us some pretty epic anime deaths,
Mhm.
starting with episode 1. So I think that's one. It's inherent, I guess, in the nature of a demon hunting show where there's gonna be people dying. Though.
Did you guys get to watch today's episode?
I did.
I have not. I spent the first half of my it was basically workout, then finished my video for today, and then I caught up on To Be Hero X. So I'm behind on some stuff I need to watch.
Well, this was a good episode.
I'm a little like the time jump was a little jarring. I thought.
Oh, at the very end.
Yeah.
I think maybe they'll go back to whatever the next one. I think they just wanted to show off the agreement or whatever that they had.
I'm going to try and catch up on it once we're done here tonight because there are a couple of things I do need to actually watch. But now I'm caught up on To Be Hero X. The next thing I'm trying to catch up on, because my chat has insisted a little bit on me watching it, is Uma Musume, or at least the new one.
Is that the one with the blue-haired girl on the cover?
No, this is
Like
this is
upside down?
this is the Horse Girls one.
Oh,
Wait, you're watching a Horse Girls anime?
Yeah.
What? I didn't. Is that new this season or is this a past season?
This is it's a new part of the series, but it's been a long running series as far as I know. It's got like 3 or 4 other seasons, and this is like a spin-off.
Interesting.
I mean, it's by Games, I believe. The animation's good.
Is
and
this
it's-
still
and
like
so-
my Centaur Life show? Is that like I'm trying to think of Horse Girl animes?
It's basically all about like racing.
Okay.
Yes. So imagine if like it was an anime about horse racing, but all of the racers were horse girls.
nice.
Yeah.
All right. This is actually sounds kind of entertaining.
Fun fact.
So far, it's actually been pretty good because the main character for Cinderella Grey is a nutcase.
Fun fact: horse girls usually smell awful.
Actually, I've been told this by another source, by someone who works in a pet shop or a fish shop. There's one chick who works with horses who will come in, and she always smells like shit, is what he says.
Dude, so I used to work with a couple of horse girls, and they all smelled like shit. Let's let's just put it that way. I thought you meant Biggles' favorite superheroes. What the fuck is Swiggs talking about? He doesn't speak English. Okay.
Biggles' favorite super Hex Arrows.
Oh, Super Hexbros? What's that?
It's an ecchi anime.
Oh.
It's a pretty shitty ecchi anime where I think the entire point of the show existing is for the main character to fling his fucking clothes off every time he tries to punch someone.
Gray does that in Fairy Tale. He has a stripping.
Well, I was about to say Gray does it intentionally. Like that's just how he does things. In this case, it is literally like he's gonna fight the main character is gonna fight a monster, and when he uses his powers, the like blowback from hitting something causes him and every one of his class, like every female classmate that's around him at the time, to lose all of their clothes.
High School DxD, he's like he has that ability where he snaps or whatever, and their clothes come off. So is it like that or no?
I wish I
just
had that
lamer.
ability.
It's just a lame version of that.
How would it be lame if like you have super strength to go with it?
Well,
You're
I
like
don't know.
All Might out here changing the weather, but instead you're just changing the public decency laws.
Well, no, you were saying like his clothes like just randomly falls off and then theirs. So I was saying, is it like Issei's but like lame?
I think we're thinking too much about this.
Cosmo does steal panties. That's true.
He doesn't steal panties. He steals hearts.
Man, he dude, so the imposter one, like that one's so funny. They're like, I heard you stole young girl's underwear. He's like, I didn't steal them. He's like, steal, and they're waving her around. And like his Nendroid even comes with like what's her name? Megumin's panties. Like you have
I'm
Megumin's
so
panties.
pissed because I pre-ordered a free Nendoroid from Good Smile, and then the tariff stuff happened, and all of a sudden, like they decided that they were just gonna say "fuck your pre-order."
Well, I thought the pre-orders that you had already ordered are going to go through.
No, it depends. Like Big Bad Toy Store, because Hasbro did a lot of their toy stuff. They had a lock-in date, right? If you made your order by, I think it was May 9th, they would lock in whatever the pricing was. But if you ordered after May 9th, there would be a tariff, like an unknown tariff surcharge, depending on what it actually is by the time that stuff shows up on
My
shore.
pre-order doesn't even show up in my history on Good Smile. That's what's happened.
Well, my pre-orders were already paid for. So if I don't get them, they better give me a bunch of fucking money. I just went to Good Smile and apparently there's a Memorial Day sale. And this
Is
one
it
is
all
like
dead characters?
kinda. No, I think she lives. But like this $220 statue is only 140. That's one of the characters that I might actually buy.
I'm trying to think of like I'm going through my list and think of like character deaths. I mean, there was the Don Acro Silky thing, but I don't really know if I would count that.
Yeah, I wouldn't. What's
Failure Frame just made me want to fucking die.
that counts? Okay, so we'll remember that the Crimson was here, and Failure Frame came in.
There's a bunch of deaths in Hell's Paradise, but I was never really a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
I almost said Kite from Hunter x Hunter, but Kite comes back, so I can't say that. And I mean, there was Chairman Netero from that was a good fight, and that was something pretty epic.
Mm-hmm.
But like Netero was kind of like the bad guy in that situation.
Dude, I would have said Yamcha if you didn't get wished back multiple times. Because like going into the Saiyan saga, like Yamcha almost won a world tournament, right? He got like third or whatever. He like helped saves the world a couple times, you know. He kicks some ass, right? So going into Z, Yamcha's pretty cool. And then he like smokes the fucking Cybermen and thinks it's dead. And then hold on.
I got one. I finally remembered one. I didn't include this because I thought someone else might. Paul Greyrat.
Oh yeah, I was.
Oh, shit. That's a good one.
I
Going
was
out
going
like
to,
a boss too.
I was going to say Paul Greyrat too, but I forgot to grab him.
He's out here grabbing Paul.
I know. I didn't want to grab him too much. You know, I didn't want him
Biggles,
to.
when you load up the page, there's going to be a show spoiler box. You can click it.
Yeah. So
Paul Greyrat is.
We don't care about Nappa, right? Nappa was a bad guy.
Look, Vegeta, a frisbee. Can I catch it? No. You know what, Nappa? Go catch it. Catch it with your mouth, like a doggy.
Paul Greyrat is. This is Paul Greyrat might be one of the better examples outside of Rudy, like of what Mushoku Tensei does almost better than any other manga or anime, which gives you a complicated person. Like Paul has lots of good qualities and lots of terrible qualities. Like, you know, is he a good dad? Is he a good husband? No, he's not a good husband, but he seems to be a pretty decent dad sometimes, because sometimes he's a terrible dad. It's like there's
I would say that overall he's a great father, but an awful husband.
oh yeah, he's an awful husband. But it's tendencies, right? But it's tendencies he passes down to his son. And it helps explain, right, you know, why Rudy is the way he is. In addition to being a product of his past life, Rudy is also Paul Greyrat's son. Like, and as much as he came out a full-grown adult, being raised by Zenith and Paul for like the first 10 years of his life had a major impact on who he was. And that's what's like Mushoku Tensei starts really getting into a lot of layers and depth. And you get the terrible down moments where Paul, after Rudy's coming in, when they finally reunite post teleportation, Rudy has spent years traveling the demon continent on his with just you know, the Regerd and Eris, with Eris being his full responsibility. And he's trying to just talk about his adventures because his dad's an adventurer, right? Let me talk to you about the cool stuff. And his dad is a drunk who hits him and starts a fight because he's so unhappy that Rudy seemed to have a good time, because from
Don't
Paul's
you care about your family? I didn't even know our family was
it was
missing.
missing. Yeah. Like I was out of contact, right? I had no idea.
Some other ones that I will like Muffler said Spike there. But I think this is another one that Muffler Tape might appreciate. Inspector Motto from Tokyo Ghoul.
So one of the reasons why I didn't have Spike on here, I know Spike dies at the end, is because Spike's more of a bounty hunter and not really like a soldier / adventurer kind of guy. And fuck you, Swigs. Fuck you. Fuck you. Show Tucker can go fucking eat 100 fucking dicks and die again.
If I had 2 bullets and I could pick any 2 characters, it would be really hard. But
I'd
one of
shoot
my
Show Tucker
choices may
twice.
end up being Show Tucker twice. The other option would be Griffith twice.
Man, Show Tucker's way worse than Griffith in my book, you know.
What do
Fuck
you
that.
mean? What do you mean? The dude who fucked up the lives of 2 people, or the dude who sacrificed every single one of his friends, raped his best friend's lady, and like
Not as bad as turning your child into a chimera.
man,
Especially when your child is so adorable. Okay.
Yeah, your scale of terrible things like Aaron Yeager genocide, rape,
Okay.
turning a child into a dog.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'd kill a dog, or I'd kill a child, but not Nina, man. Fuck that. Okay. Nappa never cheated on his wife, though. Always never became a drunkard and beat his son. So who's the real villain? Paul or Nappa? Okay. Yeah. So what else, you guys? You want to talk about anime now? Like our normal anime?
I mean, we can. I've watched a little bit at least.
No
We
one's.
got,
Did you watch?
we
My
had the
Hero?
harem episode of Trapped.
Or not Trapped?
Not
No, no.
Trapped. Evil Overlord.
Yeah. Same writer, I think.
Yeah,
It is.
it is the same writer, which is yeah, I have that on my mind because I am preparing something for Biggles so that he cannot, so now he doesn't have to wonder what will happen for years.
Yeah. Considering the thing's not coming out till I think 6/25, the next book, and it's already been like 5 months, which is past its normal release date. So I'll just
What
have
time
to,
zone are you in where it's not even 6:25 yet?
No, June 25th.
I know, I'm fucking with you.
I thought you were messing with me. But like smarter than that. Okay, Apothecary Diaries is getting really interesting with the story. Yeah, we meet a bad guy in Apothecary Diaries. I don't know who this chick is, but apparently she's abusive.
I don't think anyone really knows who she is unless like you've read the novels or something. And I just haven't really sat down to like go through all the information and try and figure out where she plays into all this yet.
Crimson's going to rewatch the whole show, figure it out by tomorrow, and be like, I got it, guys.
Now I go back to work tomorrow. I don't have that kind of fucking time.
Dun dun dun. Okay. Little Chad. What do you think? Who is she?
I don't
Tell
know.
me. Hit the show spoiler button. Tell me, Little Chad.
I don't know. I am avoiding. I mean, aside from ones where they give you obvious clues for literally the whole first several seasons.
And I miss him.
The different scenarios. So I don't know, but I will tell you. You know what I do know is that you spoiled me on Catch Me at the Ballpark, and now I've come up with like the ultimate everybody ends happy ship in that
The
show.
butt slap.
Yeah.
Dude, oh man, that's not going to be in season 1, but when I saw that, I was like, nothing says baseball like a butt slap, you know? So like he hits a home run and hits her in the butt, and she's like, ow! And then he's like, I want to go apologize to the kid I hit with the ball because someone said you hit like a kid with the ball. And like that little thing right there is so great because he's upset that he's not getting butt slapped by the team. And the other American player is like, it's because you never look them in the eye when you're talking to them. You know, you never like try to speak any Japanese to them. Right. So he does it and he's like, origato, right? He's like, thank you. Right. And they slap his butt and he's like so happy. And then he's like, yeah, I want to apologize to the person or the kid I hit with the ball. And then he's like, I hit my goddess. And then he's like, I'm sorry. And she slaps him on the butt and goes, nice
Good hit. Yep.
Yeah. And it's just the greatest thing ever. I can't wait till that gets animated. Right.
Yeah.
But I'm more rooting for our Yamada over Ruiko with Murata because she's like my prince, and then she's just going to be sad that she doesn't get to show her legs and she won't
And
get her
she
prince.
always gives him extra chicken.
Yeah, she always hooks him up.
Normally, if a girl's giving you any chicken, that's a problem. But I guess it's just down to Biggles' taste.
No, chicken and roosters are different, man.
A rooster is a chicken.
Yeah, but it's
Dude,
different.
you do know that, right?
There's a difference between a hen and a rooster.
Isn't
There you go.
one's a
Chicken.
boy?
One's a girl, exactly.
Yeah. That's fairly obvious one. I'm looking. All right, so let's see what other stuff came out that we watched.
Yeah, I do think she's
Atelier.
probably
I'm happy that our theory on Atelier Meister was basically correct. That it is an illusion, but designed to look like a future version of Kurt.
Mhm.
So I was like, you notice how he looks just like a model of Kurt, which is funny.
Yeah, that one's one I don't really like put much thought on,
Yeah.
honestly. Like I actually did a watch party with some friends for that one last night before going to bed. I'm just sitting here like there's not much to comment on when it comes to this. Like
I mean,
it's kind of the same thing over and over again. Something happens, Kurt somehow surprises everyone with his fucking Swiss Army knife skills. And then rinse, repeat, and something worse happens.
You know where I've seen where I'm surprised. Please put them on Takamine-san throughout the drama this week by introducing the other childhood friend who was far more aggressive and tomboyish
and licked him.
and led to one of the most fun awkward moments in that show where she after the water balloon fight where there was the misunderstanding about what was happening.
Her Takamine's imagination of everything that was going on.
And how she's like, fine, I guess we're doing this right now.
Which again, kind of like it seems like her powers still work even if she does get it on with her boyfriend. So
yep.
Like she's not concerned. Like it's almost like she doesn't even really know the rules of her own powers, and it's just going to be whatever the author decides it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, do we even know for a fact that once she loses it, that the power goes away? I don't know. Like, I'm interested to see if there's at some point a flashback to her gaining the power, and if there was some kind of explanation of the knowledge. Like, is this a family? Like, is this something that gets passed down within the family? So someone sits her down and explains like, hey, the women in our family can do this, but here's the rules. There's how does she
Interesting.
know? Like, I mean, because she seems to have known the rules, right? Like, did she learn these through trial and error? Does that mean like people saw her? It would have happened when she was younger, which is weird and not something good. Like, is it her parents who know when time gets changed? Because
Which
that might
means
make more
that at
sense.
some point there were people who like are just out there who remember every little thing that she changes. Like, yeah, you okay, now we're asking some really, really crazy metaphysical questions here.
Well, like, I mean, you got to figure her parents, right? Say her
Mhm.
parents. It is perfectly natural and normal for parents to be involved in cleaning their child up into a certain age, right? So they would have,
17,
according
no.
according to the rules that she laid out in the first episode, it's if anyone sees her body, they can remember the timeline changes. Does that mean every single time something changes? I guess that it's happening in school, so the parents aren't there. But you have to figure there's been times where she's changed things and her parents would have been aware of it.
I'm just imagining like whichever one of her parents is working, just all of a sudden like time relapses after they're done with their project and they're just sitting there fuming like Takamine.
Or or are they happy like I'm getting that good girl, make sure you're getting, because they probably think she's doing it to make sure she's getting A's. They're not real like they're not like, by the way, why did time rewind today? Because I misspoke at the thing and I said I wanted to say facility instead of your institution. It was like you rewound time for that? Really?
Well, what if she got it after like a certain age and then her parents didn't and they wouldn't even be
Yeah.
part of it?
Well,
Well,
that's the
they said it was when she first got the power when she was in like I don't know grade school or something.
there's going to be something about when she it's going to be when she got the cat, which is named after her our lead, and he's too stupid to have realized that one.
Wait, what's our lead's name?
His name is like what is
Shota?
Shira,
Shota?
yeah,
Shirota.
Koshi
Shirota.
Shirato, and the cat's name is like Shiro or something like
It's
that.
Kuro.
Kuro, which is, yeah, like a combination of his name. It's named after him. And he still doesn't figure it out that she's like it's funny that this show, and what was the one from last season was I married a girl in my class that I hate,
Yeah.
are both dependent on the fact that they met and were really happy as childhood friends, but
Mhm.
the lead male can't remember that this girl who looks very similar and is the same as that girl.
Which, as far as the ending of that, I saw someone post some like stuff from the manga of it, and they kind of like cut the other half of the that ending off to where it actually shows that like Akane is like really struggling to be honest with Saito, even though she really really wants to.
Is that still going on, right? Is it ongoing? They haven't finished that
I
manga,
believe
right?
the light novels are finished. I believe they're just
Okay,
doing the manga now.
gotcha. Cool. Because that was, I did like that anime. It was good. It
I
was,
want more of it.
yeah. So
Me three.
so Takamine, so the childhood, that was a very funny episode with the
Yeah.
misunderstanding in the park after the water balloon fight. When they
She
zoom in
sees the
on her holding the
water
yeah,
balloon and immediately assumes it's a condom.
yeah. It's my fault. I just made him do it right here. What?
Well, then
Do
I
you have
ended
them
up getting all soaking wet.
Yeah.
Is like but if you're like, oh, I have an idea, how about you do that with us, Takumi? Oh, and then what? No, only if you, yeah, I'm down for it, let's do this, let's if you're okay. Right here, think before you speak and ask a request of a woman.
It was so funny. That was probably the best episode so far. Um, what else? Did you watch the new My Hero?
I didn't get around to it.
Yeah, that
Okay.
dropped today, right? So
Yes.
I
Yeah,
I
yeah.
went I went and made sure I watched Sword of the Demon Hunter.
I will say this latest episode was probably my least favorite episode of Lazarus that's come out since so far.
I still haven't watched it. I've watched the first episode. I'm waiting till it's over to just binge it. But the
yeah,
way
this
I
this whole episode on the fucking oil rig kind of sucked.
the way you were talking about it, it makes me kind of glad that I haven't started watching it because I was listening to you on Sundays or Saturdays. What night?
Saturday. It would have been Saturday.
Saturday nights, yeah. Because I watch Crimson as I drive home usually.
Listening to me rank hentai tropes and shit.
Exactly. I had to be like, I was like, what the hell is this, Crimson? And he's like, oh, that's blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, cool.
Trust me, like that was a tame list. There are worse tags that I've seen out there.
I think
Biggles is like, I can't even keep track of apothecary diaries. You think I know these things?
well, the funny thing
You
was,
think I know what netto rare is or what
Poor Biggles,
inflation is?
when me and Crimson were like, oh, the first episode of Intergalactic Evil Lord is basically like an NTR. And he's like, what does that mean? I was like, oh, sweet child.
but no, Crimson got to like incest on his thing, and I was like, incest is wincest, right, Crimson? His chat
Was it's only hot if they're blood related.
I actually said the opposite. Like, if it's the step sibling thing, all right, you know what, fair game. But if we're talking about like actual like blood related stuff, no. That's why this is a B tier trope.
I liked, that it just every time I hear that now, I just think of sister leveling. Hey, step bro, what do you, Jenna? We are blood related.
No, okay. So have you got to the part where he's now MILF hunting?
Oh, I saw this today. You know what? I'm not even gonna say it. New mission unlocked. God damn it!
No, but right before that, there's like, he's like, Mom, please tell me Chinna's adopted. And he goes, and she goes, no, sweetie, Chinna's not adopted. You are.
And he's like, oh, thank God.
How about some one-on-one time with mommy?
So that dropped today. Was that a new one?
There
That was
was
something I saw on Twitter while I was working.
Oh, okay.
there was a new one, I think, like last week. I think. I just watch them as they show up on my what's it called? But I sent you guys. Was it a My Hero? No, I sent you a Grimjack one. So Grimjack's the one who does the Goblin Slayer ones. And it's like Nezuko like yelling at Tanjiro. And she's like, shit, he can't understand me. It's fun. For some reason,
I'm trying to. A rank party was kind of like a blah holding pattern.
I've been
episode.
saying that one's been going downhill. Like it has just lost my interest. Hold up though. To go back to a topic we were touching on earlier with the solo leveling anime of the year thing, we do have like if even XQC can tell you that solo leveling doesn't deserve anime of the year, something's fucking wrong.
I don't know that anybody who's objective in any way intellectually could say that solo leveling was the anime of the year.
it was probably the weakest out of all the candidates.
Yeah, and as you guys pointed out, with Crunchyroll being so intertwined with the actual, it's a Crunchyroll production. It makes it like Free Run. But I thought Free Run was clearly anime of the year. I could have lived with Apothecary Diaries winning.
What about Kaiju number 8?
No,
Damn.
I could have lived with Apothecary Diaries winning over Free Run because at least like it's another goated anime, right?
Mm-hmm.
It should have been one of those two. That's the race. Everything else is the Hall of Very Good, but not Hall of Fame. Frieren is Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Frieren and Apothecary Diaries
they're
are like
Hall of Fame.
genuinely like top notch animes right there.
Like Kaiju number 8 is great. It's but it's not. It doesn't sniff Frieren or Apothecary Diaries in terms of writing and depth and quality. So I just don't. I think it's ridiculous. It's clearly the fix was in. For like I said, Frieren was my choice. I think most people probably would have put Frieren as the top choice, even over Apothecary Diaries. But like I said, I could have lived with Apothecary Diaries.
I like Apothecary Diaries better than I like Frieren. But
I like
so-
Little Chad better than I like you, Biggles.
If I could
I know,
mute
I
you on
know.
your own channel right now,
I know. Well, I mean, they're both really good. You guys saw my score, right?
I know.
99 and 100, you know? But honestly, like if we're talking my favorites, they're just not my favorite kind of animes. But I do think they're very, very good, right?
Yeah, see, you like dumb action series like Kaiju number 8.
Exactly. But Kaiju number 8 is actually pretty awesome.
Kaiju number 8 is kind of like, it's basically just solo leveling, but you're trading a few points in animation for a few points in storytelling and character development.
There's a lot of character development when you get farther on.
My dick is called character development.
Haha, so it only gets hard when he's on this channel. Okay. Right here.
What?
Okay, my friend loved it winning and then just told me Frieren was boring. So why do you guys think someone would think Frieren is boring? Is it because they're a shonen only person and Frieren only gets the good fights at the end of the season rather than
Frieren only has fights every 3 or 4 episodes.
It comes down to how people are like actually going into anime and what they want to watch. Because like if you're like actually willing to sit down and like be a little bit intellectual about things, you're going to appreciate the well-written series like the Apothecary Diaries or Frieren more. If you're just someone who wants the escapism of a easy access action series like Solo Leveling, you're going to enjoy that more. The reason Frieren gets called boring is because it's a slow start that takes its time to actually establish its character's motivations before like sending you into the fray. Because episode 7 through 9, there's a lot of action in there. So that's fairly early on in the series. That's in the first third. With Solo Leveling, it's almost all action. And this is effectively where you get the divide in the generations of people who have gotten into anime. Like I mentioned with the Crunchyroll stuff, there is a complete difference in everything that was 2019 anime of the year and everything that is 2020 and on anime of the year. It shifted way over towards action and flashing lights because, that's what a lot of normie fans seemed to think anime was. They watched Dragon Ball Z when they were little, never really watched much anime, and then they decided to get into like shonen because that's the big popular thing right now. It's easy for people who have shorter attention spans, who are normies effectively, to get into anime on the action side without any like intense storytelling or like really like introspective stuff than it is for them to get into, the actual good, like all-timer kind of stuff. Things that have a point or a message or good character development, good writing. It's as simple as that. So
like Dragon Ball Z before the Boo saga.
Yeah, there genuinely is like an argument to say that Frieren is boring because it's slow. But that would be like saying Lord of the Rings is boring because it's slow. I would argue you're just retarded if you think it's slow and boring.
Lord of the Rings is so boring, it's just walking. Oh, wait, that's from Clerks 2, basically. Oh, look, I walked. Oh, look, I walked. Oh, look, I walked. Drop. All right, over. Clerks 2.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of, like Crimson said previously on the show, like people who are expecting and want anime to just be shonen
with constant fighting, power creep, and tournament arcs, and all sorts of stuff like that. Freerin and Apothecary Diaries are the antithesis of that. They're slow burn character development. Now they do end up having things happen, but it's the drama comes from personal relationships, the growth of those relationships. In Freerin's case, you get fights, but the major like actual action set pieces they're not very I guess what is it, around the 10th 11th, when did they do the demon fight? It was that around the 11th 10th 11th episode,
Which demon fight?
the initial one against the general where Freerin goes outside of the castle.
5.
Was that that early?
Episode 5 was the general. If you're talking about Aura the Guillotine,
Yeah,
that would have been 9.
Yeah, so I think that's the like major typical anime style battle where you have the side characters doing their side fights, you have the main character doing the main character fight. That's what I mean people expect in a kind of traditional fantasy anime, and they expect that to happen every 3 to 4 episodes.
Well, here's the thing: is even with like big name shonens, that's not the typical thing. Like you can have long stretches of no real major action in there, but people will, pass on that because, or people will just conveniently ignore that because they like the simpler stories of a shonen anime. The difference is like Frieren is something that actually takes like a little bit of, time to fully comprehend what's going on there. With like Bleach or Naruto, like you're basically spoon fed everything that's happening. You don't have to sit there and like take it in and like think about like what it means or like how like all of this ties together. It's not as masterful as something like Frieren would be because they're made to entertain for a chapter a week.
Well, and there's nothing wrong with that either. There's a place for that kind of anime, manga, whatever light novel. But the goated stuff is the ones where it gives you the depth, where it lets you just like the themes, the stuff in Freerin and Apothecary Diaries are evergreen themes where you can discuss like meaning, deep, like relationships, all that kind of stuff. Whereas, like who wins in a fight? Broly or Goku? It's not exactly like like let's get into the the questions of life, humanity, the meaning of relationships.
It is like comparing Die Hard to a Lord of the Rings movie. That is what solo leveling to Frieren is, honestly. Like, sure, Die Hard's going to be more exciting and action packed all the way through, but which one of these is like a true like tale for the ages? Something that will stand the test of time that you can sit here and talk about in depth.
I mean, those fight scenes in Lord of the Rings are pretty fucking epic.
Yeah, they are, but a lot of it is set up and moving to those points where all of that has good payoff. That's why Helm's Deep, the Battle of Pelennor Fields, that's why those are like huge, awesome moments, is because everything that went up into that, like everything that was the build up to those was important and it was executed well.
Agreed.
I agree. I mean, there's a place for both pieces of entertainment and both can be beloved. But you can objectively recognize, and this is where you're just being intellectually honest. Like you just objectively being intellectually honest means recognizing and saying, I love solo leveling. I love Kaiju number 8. I objectively recognize that these other animes are better long-term goated representations of the medium than what I love. Like it's my personal like for instance, my personal taste, I've been loving the shit out of Evil Galactic Lord, just like I love the shit out of Trapped in a Dating Sim.
Trapped in a Dating Sim is awesome.
But for either of those years, would I probably put them as anime of the year? No. That's my personal enjoyment versus, I mean, let's see, what year did Trapped in a Dating Sim come out? It's
2019, I think.
All right, so 2019.
You know what the
anime.
true anime of the year last year should have been? Villainous
for
who
it.
would go down in history.
Of course, yeah. All
Of
right,
course
I'm
you would say
looking.
that, but we all know it's Makeine.
Well, these are not. Sometimes I hate when AI answers questions. Let me see. Looking at 2019. I'm trying to see what was. Well, Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl, right? That came out the same year.
Oh, I
That
think
is
it says
that is
2022, actually.
okay. All right. Well, I was gonna say, well, as an example, like if Rascal came out the same year, it's a completely different kind of anime, but it is a much better made story. Like, I mean, it's I even though I would 10 out of 10 times watch Trapped in a Dating Sim over Rascal Doesn't Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. I would intellectually honestly say that one is a better story anime, whatever, like, kind of with, because that one's going into universal themes of, puberty, relationships, evolving from a young adult into a true adult. Like, there's so many universal things as opposed to Leon being an arrogant asshole and putting the princes in his place, which I enjoy the shit out of watching and I watch all the time. So
Dude, I love it.
so it's a lot like the Oscar debate, right? The difference is the Oscars have completely lost their shit where they're going too far in the other direction, where they're starting to reward like crazy avant-garde bullshit that nobody really liked as opposed to like goated stuff. It is a crime that Lord of the Rings, Return of the King was the only one that ever won anything. Like the fact that Fellowship of the Ring, the year it came out, didn't sniff winning Academy Awards outside of a couple visual effects ones is a travesty. Travesty. Like that, there was nothing else coming out that year that could come close to it.
Mhm.
In terms of filmmaking, quality, the acting, all that kind of stuff. All right, so I would say, all right, looking at 2022, which was for when the anime actually came out. I'm looking at the releases. And here we go. What's a good one? Man, this was kind of a shit year. Is this the year it actually came out?
I don't know.
Oh,
2022, yeah. Google or IMDb said 2022. The manga came out at the end of 2018, so maybe that's why I was thinking 2019.
yeah, I'm just looking at. My Dress Up Darling came out. Well, that's a personal preference one too.
My Dress Up Darling is great.
Yeah. Oh, that was Airfield season 2. There's a lot of good. Yeah, there's Trapped in a Dating Sim. Oh, man, where's the great for this year? Rising the Shield Hero season 2. No, not great. Spy X Family. Its first season came out. I mean, that one was fantastic.
I thought it was highly overrated.
Sentence of a Bookworm, but that was season 3 of Sentence of a Bookworm. Man, this was I mean, maybe Trapped in a Dating Sim
Maybe
might
it
have been
was the best anime of 2022.
I haven't, like, 2022 was not doing so well. I'm a villainous, so I'm taming the final boss now.
That was an okay one. Let's see.
Oh, Ozuki-chan wants to hang out.
There you go.
I mean, that's
it was probably Chainsaw Man.
yeah.
Or Eminence of Shadow, you know?
Eminence in Shadow is the greatest trash anime.
It genuinely is.
Hey, you know what? It has Moonlight Sonata, so I have to give it. I have to give it.
That's your only.
Yes. You throw in Moonlight Sonata, I'm going to give you some extra points. Akibara Maid Wars came out in 2022.
Oh, so in 2022, Attack on Titan final season part 1 won anime of the year.
Part 1, Part 3, Part A, Part D _5.
Guys, there was Rent a Girlfriend Part 2.
I will crucify you.
What, you're saying that's not good?
God, the name, the awards. Here's where the nominees. It was Attack on Titan, final season part, Jujutsu Kaisen 86.
We're talking about 22, right?
Yep, this is 2022. Sunny Boy and Rankings of Kings.
Wait, Kaguya.
Of all of those, Ranking of Kings is probably the best.
Yeah, I mean, this is a weak year. You know what? Trapped in a Dating Sim might have been one I would have.
No, Kaguya Love is War is from 2022.
Hold on a second. Did Mushoku Tensei come out? That was its first season? Maybe 2022? I take it back. I know what the anime of the year should have been.
Trapped in a Dating Sim. No,
because that one gets me because they split like the cores. First episode, March 29th, 2022. Never mind. 2022 anime of the year should have been Mushoku Tensei.
I don't know. There was Kingdom Season 4.
No, Mushoku Tensei is a goated anime.
I would say Kingdom is too, but most people can't watch it because the first 2 seasons of the animation are fucking awful. The Entertainment District, that counts as 2021, technically. Let's see.
Where are you at on that, Crimson? Mushoku Tensei should have been 2022 anime of the year.
Probably would have put it up there myself because it's just good. I would have to look through all of the anime myself to really know what is there, and even then I don't know how much of it I'd actually have watched at that time. I wasn't doing a whole lot of seasonals back then.
By the way, given what happened with the awards this year, 100% I'm going to be very upset next year when Crunchyroll nominates The Beginning After the End for anime of the year because they co-produce it and then have it win. That'll be an epic fail.
Don't worry, at least we know that you have brain damage, retardation, and every possible cognitive disability in the books.
Do we have any other Crunchyroll? Well, I guess Solo Leveling had its next season come out, so they could just do that one for 2025.
I mean, I could understand Solo Leveling Season 2, right? Because of how good the fights were. And what else is... Well, I actually... Summer, we have some really good ones coming out, right? So we got Dan to Dance Season 2. Who knows if Rising of the Shield Hero Season 4 is going to be good.
Does anything Rising of the Shield Hero after Season 1 really even matter?
Not
I
really.
don't know, but Dress Up Darling Season 2 is going to be pretty good.
Call of the Night Season 2 could possibly be good.
Sakamoto Days Part 2.
Let's see. Kaiju number 8 Season 2 is probably not going to be as good as 1. 3 is going to be where all the main action happens.
Holy shit, they're bringing back I Was Reincarnated as a 7th Prince so I can take my time.
Is that good?
No, it was like the cheesiest, like the character design on the Prince character. It was just so like weird. They dressed
Yeah.
him up like a little girl, but it's a boy. It's like so.
Oh, so it's like modern Hollywood.
Yeah.
Biggles anime right there.
Holy shit!
No, it's not.
Reborn as a Vending Machine season 2. Biggles.
Oh yeah, that's going to be anime of the year as well. Then there's this, which I hear is actually pretty good. I've never watched it, but I don't know. There's no freaking way I'll be your lover unless what? Unless
I saw someone edit that title and put some slurs in there.
it doesn't say.
That could be a meme candidate.
We love our
Apocalypse Bringer Menorah. That is basically dollar store overlord.
It might be better though. We'll find out.
It's not. I have the novels. It's not.
Nice. We should come up with our own awards.
Hey, we have another show about a person banished from the heroes party.
That's what I was.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying
That's
in some other Discord chats. That I basically need to make my own anime awards with blackjack and hookers.
Yeah, we should do that. We should have an anime awards with blackjack.
We should at the end of the year we should do the Biggles Awards.
Yeah, and then we'll have like blackjack on the screen as we're doing the thing.
We'll just be playing blackjack over the internet
while like voting on stuff. We'll have chat vote on who's there, and we'll go through and talk about stuff. We'll make sure best isekai are all non-isekais, like Shangri-La Frontier, Frieren.
No. We'll make sure they're all non-isekais from like 2 years ago. And then we make people pay $30 to participate in it.
Yeah, Swigs, you have to pay 60 though, because you always ruin the show. Best baseball anime won't watch because someone told me it was Boy Love. Be like, this one wins, just.
He won't watch in a theater, but he'll watch it alone.
Dun dun dun. Okay. The final season comes out in October for My Hero. I saw this manga, but I don't know what it is. Campfire cooking in another world.
It's just a fun little slice of life isekai.
I think what's his name really likes it. I don't think I'll watch part 2 of this. This fucking show annoys me.
Let this grieving soul retire.
Yeah, unless it's
that.
Unless it's going to be all Tino.
I would need Talker season 2 way more than I need season 2 of that one.
Yeah.
I didn't even finish Let This Grieving Soul Retire. That's how fed up I got with that.
Oh, I see a villainous one, The Dark History of the Reincarnated Villainous, coming fall 2025.
Wait, did I skip it?
No, I think you haven't gotten down to it. It's there.
So this is what I'm really looking forward to. Kingdom season 6, because Kingdom's fucking amazing. Dark History of a Reincarnated Villainous. Self-indulged fantasy romance fix, like, oh no, dude, this is going to be. Have you guys watched any of? Yeah, probably. Have you guys seen any of my playthroughs of Cold Steel?
No. Well, actually, that's a lie. I've tuned into some of your Cold Steel streams.
Okay, so there's a character. Her name's Dorothy, and all she does is like write fanfic of boys getting it on. And I feel like writing self-indulged fantasy romance fix like her dark history, that's going to possibly have like boy love. So maybe I won't watch it, but it has villainous in it, so I'll have to watch it.
There's no way you can put villainous in the title and not get Biggles to watch it.
At least check it out, right? otherworldly munchkins? So are they going to be a bunch of short people? So
That's
this
a good
is
question. I don't know.
we're going to have to watch it. We'll have to see. Um,
Saga of Tanya the Evil is supposed to be is getting a second season, but with no release date. Ugh.
yeah.
I mean, it's only been like 5-6 years. I guess by anime terms, that's still not like terrible.
I go all the way down there.
World's Finest Assassin. That
Yeah.
I mean, that's taking forever to get a season 2.
Well, that's also, I think that's 2026. Yeah.
I'm
Or
just
no,
I
that's
just
even-
clicked later and it doesn't even have release dates yet.
Recreated a slime. So these are just ones that were Delicious
Announced,
Onion 2.
but
Yeah. Free Run Season 2, January 2026.
Trapped in a Dating Game season 2,
Yeah,
no release date.
right
Come on,
here.
guys. Come
Well,
on.
that's what we'll get, like the Elf Land, and it will probably go to the end of book 3.
Well, the first season did 2 light novels.
Well, no, it did 1.5. It didn't finish the second one, I thought.
You're right. Because the second, no, wait, I think it did 2.
I don't think it finished 2.
I think it did. I think the end of the second light novel was the fight where with the principality at the student trip, which was the end of this season of anime. And it does the little epilogue after. I think the third novel is that where the principality ends up is the first part of the light novel in season 3.
The retaliation and the elves and the
Is the elves, and then the second half of the light novel is the final battle with the principality.
the end of 3 is the principality, which is where the manga is ended right now.
I mean, so I feel like they could probably do the if you're doing a 13 episode season, the
Mhm.
first 6 episodes could cover the elves, because the elves are only like could probably be done in like 2-3 episodes, and then
Yeah.
the principality war arc could be 3 episodes.
This is what I'm really waiting for.
Diamond Noise.
Yeah. Ace of the Diamond in English.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, the funny thing. Okay, so I know Crimson doesn't like baseball, right? But as you watch the show, as it goes, you're like, they're slowly getting new translators that understand baseball, and by season 3, they have the baseball terms actually correct. You're like, oh yeah, okay. I was like, what the fuck are they saying? Like, that's not an actual baseball term.
You're not an actual baseball term.
You're not a baseball term.
I'm not.
I'm genuinely shocked at stuff that's gotten greenlit for second seasons.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely shocked that Rent a Girlfriend has almost 400 chapters.
But it's the best ever written. We
I
got
will
more.
burn you, Biggles.
I was about to say, I will go like full on whoever it was that like 3D printed the gun to assassinate Shinzo Abe.
Crimson over here is going to be like, there is H content that is so much better written with better development.
I regret to say that I have touched myself to hentai with better animation.
Oh,
There legitimately are hentai and doujin that have better stories than Rent a Girlfriend.
I totally can't wait till I was reincarnated as the dragon hatchling comes out. That manga is just fun. And it's like he's got his little status as he goes. This should be fun. But what were we talking about? Oh yeah, I was joking. But I was going to say Gorilla Girl has more romance in it in the first 6 episodes, and than Rent a Girlfriend does.
Through 400 goddamn chapters or whatever it's up to. Yes, it is. It
Yes,
is
we did.
not a debatable point.
There is no universe in which Rent a Girlfriend is considered a good anime.
I heard it's the greatest thing ever from Crimson. He tells me this stuff every day.
I will ensure your lineage ends with you.
I appreciate that.
I will genocide the line of Biggles.
What else is there? Is this a baseball one? It says Lonely Hero, but he's wearing a baseball cap. Oh, no, probably not. Those guys don't look like they're on a baseball team.
I wear a baseball cap, but I'm not playing baseball, you know?
True. Crimson should play baseball. Make him a better person.
No, I don't want to be a better person. I'm going to continue to be a degenerate for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I don't know what else. That kind of looks like a Barlog. Let's see.
Oh, you're into the Chinese shit now.
Am I? I'm
Yeah.
just scrolling through. Neja? No? It looked like Neja. My bad. Idol Master. There you go, Crimson. Don't you like those shows? You like all the
Fuck
singing? When is the Lost Echoes coming out? No date. No year. That's when he goes back in time, right? When he goes back to his old world, but it's not really his world.
Yes.
So which one is that one?
Lost Echoes.
All You Need Is Kill, the anime adaptation of The Edge of Tomorrow.
It took a long time for someone to realize there was
all you need to do is
an anime or manga. I mean, a manga to adapt into an anime of that.
Which The Edge of Tomorrow still has more accurate character designs than that.
All right, that's enough looking. Too much stuff. All right, anything else, guys?
I don't got anything.
No, it was kind of a light week this week.
But he comes back. We're not allowed to talk about those.
The Saint show still kicking ass because the sister storyline is carrying the shit out of it. And
Yes.
And we got our super twist that I didn't see coming, which was, man, that show is really trying to give tragic backstories.
It was getting close to cliche with that one, honestly, if you ask me.
But it does make sense.
I don't hate it. It makes sense, and it adds a whole lot to like everything that happened there. But like it's treading the line like dangerously close to cliche with how many like tragic backstories they want to put into this.
I'm just waiting for like the tragic backstory of the prince where he was like
where he was sickly and replaced by another prince. They already did it. No.
I mean like Julius. What is his name?
You're thinking of Trapped in a Dating Sim now. Julius is the
What's the one I hate? Starts with the J. Jillian. What is his name?
Name? Jared
from Subway. Somebody got Jared from Subway. Like, okay, so I'm waiting for his tragic backstory where he gets Jared from Subway, and that's why he's such an asshole and sold his fiance. What was his name? Julian? What is that fucking guy's name?
In Two Perfect Scene?
Yeah, what's that fucker's name? Julius. Yeah, it's Julius.
Is it?
Yeah, it's Julius.
It's Julius again.
Yeah. I thought his name was Julius. Yeah. So I can't wait till Julius's backstory where he meets Jared from Subway. And then that's his tragic backstory because we all know about Jared. All right. So that's it for us. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Like hell, we're gonna believe that. A goblin lord? My ass. You're just a damn goblin. Just a disgusting little goblin. And me?
Crimson says it's just for the plot, but we all know it is probably not. Little chat with another slice of life. Biggles keeps talking about another villainess. And in a tropeに重ねているぜ。私たちはそれら忘れて分析します。It's the Biggles breakdown, another anime night, fighting all the shows and the plots. It's time for the Biggles breakdown.